Hey guys, what's up? Let's take a look at the XM-18 by Hinderer. This is a 3.5-inch non-flipper, and the blade steel on this particular one is a Duratec 20CV. And I just want to say it's one of the baddest folders in on the market right now, like period. It's just it's so ridiculous. It fits the hand so nice. It just looks so like beefy. I mean, it just looks like a tank. It is a tank. I mean, look at the blade, the size of that titanium, the titanium liner on the other side with the G10. There's so many good things going for this knife. It's just crazy. It's why it's on fire. I mean, this knife, even though Rick has upped production of these, they still sell out. I mean, all the time. Like I don't even think I've ever seen one on like the regular cutlery online shops and stuff like that. You see them on the forums, but usually that's at the aftermarket price. Now, I'm sure they do show up, but they get snapped up as soon as they get listed. But for good reason. They're awesome. So this is a Generation 3, and if you don't know, all the parts, or so I've heard, all the parts on the XM-18 are made in-house in Rick's shop. From the pivot screws to the thumb stud to the titanium bar to the standoffs to the female part of the screw. And I think, if I understand correctly, even these screws are made in-house. From what I understand, now that could be wrong. I know now they went to flat screws, and you can upgrade your older Generation 3s to the flat screws. And they also offer anodized clips now too, which I don't really care for, but I mean, that's just me. So yeah, you can get this knife in flipper, non-flipper. You can hunt a custom one down. Usually them are available aftermarket, unless you are lucky enough to win one through like a lottery at a knife show. Or I think I've seen them auctioned off in the forum, in Rick Hinderer's forum, on Blade Forums and USN. But other than that, you're going to pay a pretty hefty price for them not used, the aftermarket knives. Usually them custom ones are not used, just from what I've seen. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who do have custom ones that are using them every day, and that's awesome. And you just don't see them listed on the forum because they're in their pocket and they have no desire to sell them. So, anyways, custom ones, they're getting up near $1,000 or more. The regular production ones, right now, I've seen the price like steadily go up. Right now, even with the increased production, they still seem to be bringing $550 to $600 for a brand new one. And some of the used ones are still going for, gosh, between like $525 and $550. And one of the things is, too, if you get a knife with the right finish, which that's another option, you can get bead blasted or the tumbled. This one happens to be all tumbled. They do not show wear, or they do not show wear very easy. You can't just throw this knife in your pocket for even a month and have it show a lot of wear. It'll look like you carried it maybe 1 or 2 days. Unless you're cutting like something real abrasive and it scratches the blade diagonally or something. But I've had this maybe 2 years. Whenever he went to do the Generation 3, this is one of the first Generation 3s. So I've had it a while. We can show lockup. And fit and finish, can't say it enough. Outstanding on this knife. It is a real cool piece. You can see that texture on the orange. And that's another option. There's all kinds of scale colors you can get. And there's a lot of aftermarket pimpers, modders that make different scales now. Bunch of them. I can't even list them all, but they're not hard to find. And I think I'm going to look for a translucent green scale. I think them are just super cool. Okay, so enough blabbing. Let's see it against some other knives and show you kind of the size of this guy. This is a Chris Reeve Zon. And I'll show you cutting edge first. And overall length. And we'll do an SNG next. I hope you guys like this part of the video. I always like when people do this. It kind of puts everything into perspective. So you can see they're similar. The XM does have more cutting edge than the SNG. They're about the same length. So this is a large Sabenza. And if I'm wasting your time, guys, let me know in the comments, and I can change and just not do this. So let's go with a more common knife. This is the Spyderco Hinderer. This is a Spyderco Delica. You see, it's a real small knife compared to this. They also make a 3-inch version of this, which is just a smaller version. It is thinner in the pocket also, the 3-inch version. And this is a Spyderco Stretch too. So yeah, super cool knife. It is a beast of a blade. For EDC, for my uses, no, it's not an EDC knife. Not that it can't handle it, it's just I like better cutters than what this is. And this is not to knock the knife, but this saber grind has, you know, pluses and minuses. Pluses, super strong. You know, you can pry with this knife, and you can get a little stupid with it, and you're not going to break that tip. So, yep, that's nice, and comes, you know, with the thicker blade. But with that thicker blade, you're going to get a little bit less of an efficient cutter. So my EDC is not really prying, digging holes in the dirt, and chopping, and batoning, and stuff like that. Or prying, like, you know, windows open, or car doors, or nothing. So, for my uses, super cool knife to own, but to EDC every single day, there's just a few other knives that I like better for EDC. So yes, I do carry it, but usually when I carry it with like Alox Cadet or some kind of Swiss Army knife or slip joint, I usually end up reaching for that slip joint more. Not to say anything against the knife, but I mean that's just what you're getting into, and just kind of letting you guys know. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about if you go see the tire cut video, where I had to not really stop the video, but I had to go get gloves on because it was just so tough. I don't think it was due to the ergonomics of the knife. You see how it just kind of slides in your fingers here? I just think it was due to, you know, that grind binding up in that thick rubber on these shoulders. And I might do another tire with this just to see maybe that tire was tougher, or I don't know. It was the hardest one to cut with all the knives I tested so far. So let's talk about some fine details. The action, awesome, very awesome. Lockup, awesome. When you carry it in your pocket, it is a little thick and a little heavy, but it's not like you can't carry it. It's just know that you're going to be carrying a tank of a knife, and some people are fine with that. Some people may need a belt sheath or something like that. And I don't know if I mentioned it, it's kind of got this thick, chunky jimping up here and down here. So hey guys, I'm going to cut this video at 10 minutes. Maybe we'll come back and go over some more features of this. Maybe not. I don't want to ramble on. It's got the Hinderer stabilizer. The cutout is cut on the outside of the titanium. Got about 50 seconds left. What that does, why they cut it out on the outside, is this force, if you're trying to close this knife, follows in a straight line here. That's it, guys. Catch you later. Have a good one.